everyone. It's Kat here with the Men Need Love 2 podcast. I'm sitting here today with my dear friend Desmond. I have been waiting like a year, over a year, to record this podcast with him because it's not like we talk every week for like 8 hours. We just haven't had time to sit down and record one. So, welcome, Desmond. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yep, I'm Desmond, as you mentioned. I mean, waiting a year. Hopefully, the anticipation. I don't, I don't, I don't fall short of the anticipation of a year. So we'll see how that goes. But you're right. It's not like we don't get enough phone time and FaceTime in throughout the year to have missed this. So,
Right.
but the stars are aligned now.
And so many times we've been like, shit, we should have recorded this because we'll have like the most epic 2 hour conversation. And
Yes,
it just like didn't get recorded. So damn it.
I know. Well, somebody recorded it.
Well, yeah.
Somebody recorded it.
We do always joke about that. We're like, if you're listening, we're just
Yeah.
kidding.
We didn't mean any of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they got bigger fish to fry these days anyway, so I'm sure we're not even on the radar anymore.
I think so. I think they would have come for us by now.
That's right. Yeah,
But
that's right.
see, like I can't talk. This is just gonna be a big giggle fest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
I think that's fine.
Thank you for being here. You are going to live up to the hype. And even though I've recorded maybe like 10 podcasts in the last like 2 weeks, you are going to be the first because I wanted my first episode to be with someone really special. And I love you dearly. And you have single-handedly raised the bar for me as far as how I expect to be treated by a man and what love looks like in a friendship and just um how good men are. You've really just like treated me so amazing as a friend. Like little things from opening the doors to like, sitting in the restaurant when we go out to eat and facing the door, just like all these little things that I notice about you. Um, you've just elevated my expectations for like how I should be treated. So I will forever be grateful for that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna start just by crying. We'll start the episode crying,
No, but it's true.
right?
Like I gotta give you this. Like this is how you have changed my life. This is one of the ways that you have changed my life.
Yeah, I appreciate hearing that. Of course, not something I probably hear very often. Or something I really think about, maybe, right? I don't know that I really think about it, just trying to go through life existing, right? And trying to just be the best version that I can. Certainly, you know, prior to 5 years from now, I don't know that I was trying or was even aware of what the best version of me could be. So, for me, it's been like a 5 year transition. I don't think I was any different before, but I wasn't focused on it. And I was definitely self-destructive, and we could argue that I'm still a little bit self-destructive, but that's a work in progress. Well, you know what? I could start off by saying a little bit about our relationship, right? So we've known each other for, God, it's gonna date us a little bit here, but like 20 years plus, maybe.
23, yeah,
Like,
it's like 23, 24.
yeah, like that's a lot. It's a lot of years. Um, so definitely had different versions of friendship, always been friends, but definitely different versions of friendships over the years. Subject to my divorce that started like a year, sorry, 5 years ago. I would say that probably started the journey of me maybe being a different person or trying to be a different person or maybe just trying to understand who I am to begin with. And I would say that you definitely were a catalyst to that and helping me through that and helping me understand that there was some value, like there is actually value to who I am and the person that I am. And also that I don't have to accept certain things and I don't always have to be the person that makes sure everybody else is doing well and make sure everybody else is good and not worrying about myself. Um, and and the third thing is like emotions, right? A little cliche, but man, we don't. I think the cliche there is that we don't share emotions or we don't feel emotions, right? It's both, right? So we don't feel them, we don't share them. So the first part's definitely not true. But I'd say the second part is, right? We don't really share them. I certainly didn't. I think I prided myself on just being even keel all the time, but that's just on the outside. And you did a really good job of helping me understand that, hey, these feelings are actually emotions, or these things that it's okay to feel upset. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. And it's okay that people see that. And I never really considered those things. So I think that really helped one, me, and then two, really helped develop our friendship. Um, being able to be close and tell people things, tell somebody things that you don't normally tell, even your partner, right? Like I was very close with my partner. In fact, I'm very close with all of my partners over the years. Like that's just kind of how I love is by being very close. But there's definitely a certain bit of safety that is required in there, and I don't know that I necessarily have shared every like I definitely would share more with you than I would share with any of those people, and I thought I was pretty open with them. So um I think the inspiration there from our friendship is how I want relationships to be for me going forward, is that ability to be transparent, whether the person likes it or not, or like necessarily reacts, that's their reaction. But just being as candid as I possibly be, and whoever cares about me for that reason will care about me for that reason, and vice versa. So yeah, been a lot of transition. I'd definitely say where I'm at right now, which might still be a mess, but less of a mess, maybe more of an organized mess. And the getting there was definitely because of your guidance in our conversations and learning and growing together. And I think that's an extremely important part of a relationship and friendship is being able to grow in the same direction or at least have the interest to grow. And I think I had some big revelations as I got into, again, very cliche, right? Like you hit your 40s and then all of a sudden you're supposed to have all these things. Well, I think around 38, I did have all of these thoughts in my head of like, I don't really know what the point is. And I don't like of life and just, the going to work and making money and buying things just seemed so redundant and just of no joy anymore. So it was more, you know, hitting that age and meeting, well, developing our friendship at the same time really helped develop me into the person that I'm still trying to become. Um, which is somebody that's just a slight bit less angry and slight bit less sad than he was the day before. So, we'll see how we'll see how that continues to go. So far, so good. But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of our intro, right?
Yeah.
Like that's us in a nutshell.
And and from what I'm hearing too, like it's our ability to sit down, like you and me, and talk about anything and everything.
Yes.
And just to be like fully ourselves, be fully accepted. I mean, even this morning I told you that I talked to someone I was not supposed to talk to, that I said I wouldn't talk to. And what's the first thing I did is I told you this morning because I want you to hold me accountable. And I'm never going to lie to you. Like you get to hear my mistakes, my fears, my accomplishments, like my dreams. We dream together. We talk about like the futures and the goals that we have for ourselves and our families. And that's just been like one of the most wonderful parts is to be able to have this close friendship where I feel really seen and feel really safe with you, expressing who I am and having someone just to share this journey with. Like if it's a shitty day and I'm just like I want to quit, Des, like you're the person I call. You're the person that every idea that I have had, guys, to do anything that I have done, I have run it by Des first. Like he's the first person that gets to hear about it and he just walks me through it and I get to tell him like how I feel and what's going on and he's just there. And sometimes it's just presence. It's just hearing yourself say the things that you need to say. And maybe we don't need to respond or give each other advice. We're just there. And I think that's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. Um, yeah, and like, I think the good thing about this portion of like our friendship and then this portion of the friendship is that, it is safe for me to make comments about whatever it is that you tell me. Like you said, you're, like, hey, you made mistakes or whatever. I don't always look at it. Well, one, I don't ever think it's a mistake because trust me, you have to sit there and watch the things I do over and over and over again. Jesus Christ. But
But you're
like,
right,
I
they're
don't look
lessons,
at them
they're
as
not mistakes.
right. They're lessons, right?
That's
And the good thing is that I can always be as honest with you and vice versa about how I actually feel about it. Or you say something like, "Hey, did you mean this? Did you really mean this? Or did you consider these things?" And it's never like there's never offense taken to that, right? It's just it's good feedback. And certainly for me, I love harsh feedback and I love to know when I'm doing something that is either repetitive or is wrong or could be viewed as wrong. I like to know that feedback. And I never look at it offensively. I think it's all growth. And most of the time I usually agree. So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Um,
Do you
So
want,
yeah, that is important. Sorry, go
sorry, do
ahead.
you want to just share what we said to each other yesterday about our
Uh,
patterns? How we both like called out each other's patterns. It was so fucking funny, guys.
yeah. Okay. Yes, I will talk about that because that was funny. So I guess we're talking about relationships and people we're talking to or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Whatever
what
we're
you're
up to.
referring to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we had these revelations where, can I talk about you as well? Can I just
Yeah,
say
yeah,
yours
yeah.
at the
No,
same time?
call me out on my shit, please.
Okay. So you're telling me a story, and you're telling me about, and you've always been very communicative, and with whoever you're talking to, partner, or whatever you want to call it, right? You've always been very communicative. It's something I try to model myself after. Maybe I do it too much so far, but we'll see. But I always been like I've always admired that about you, and you're describing this person and having a conversation with them, and things didn't go exactly how you thought, and then they started to go exactly how you thought. And you're like, oh, you're starting to catch feelings is what I'm for this person. Um, which I think my comment to you is like, oh, you're starting to catch feelings for this person, so that means it's time to dump them and run away. Never talk to them again. Um, because that's you. You have this
I
thing where
scare
like when
myself
some
and then I'm like, okay, I gotta go.
yeah, it's like you're like, oh my God, I really like this person, and then you'll like catch yourself, like they do something and it's the right way. And I know you're very specific and you have very good like solid walls and boundaries, which I
Don't defend
respect.
me.
And when somebody comes in, so it was just so funny to hear you say, "Oh, I'm starting to like this person," and I'm like, "Oh, that means they're out," because you like to self-sabotage as soon as somebody is doing something that you like, and you're like, "Oh, I really, really like this." You're like, "I'm out of here,"
Yeah.
um, and you just tuck tail and run. And B, on the other side, is the polar opposite of that. So, um, I I like it when they don't like me that much. So I like it when the person like we start to engage and it's a really good conversation, and then we start to really like each other. And if they're playing a little bit hard to get, I actually really like that. Even though I don't really like that, I actually really like that. It's fucking weird.
You're
And then
attracted to that.
that's right. And as soon as they start to show like interest that they really like me, I'm like, get
Peace.
away from me. Like, I gotta go. Something's wrong with this person. So it's crazy, right? It's like we have polar opposite liking styles, and neither
Just
one
the
are
patterns,
good.
and we're so aware. It is just so funny.
Yeah. Oh, like as soon as a person starts to like me too much, I'm just like, I'm fuck out of here. And it's crazy because like ultimately, isn't that what you want? Like, of course it is. It's what I want. Like,
Right. And I would like to like someone and not run away. That's so
yes.
I guess
So,
we both have some work to do.
we'll knock down another 40 years trying to figure that
Oh
out,
my
right?
God.
So, but yeah, it's interesting that we can see those patterns on each other, and I think it's really important that people can find a friendship like
Yeah.
that. I think a question that we get sometimes is like, "Hey, you guys are friends, but like." And you're a boy and she's a girl and
Yeah.
like you guys haven't slept together or like haven't been intimate or don't want to do any of those things or have any desire, and the answer to that is no, like we've never done that, we've no desire to do that, we just enjoy each other's friendship. So
And
it
is it
is actually,
possible for a man and a woman to be friends? And I
it is
mean, like,
possible.
I say I love you to you,
Yeah,
right? Like,
and same.
yeah. And like I say to your daughter and you say to my kids, and it's just like we're family is how I look at it.
Yeah, and I do too, right? That's the way I look at it, but that's a really good question because that is a debate and a conversation that comes up all the time. And can men be friends with women and vice versa? Like, and then when you're in a relationship, can you do the same thing and all that stuff, right? And the answer is yes, but I will do that with a caveat, right? I'll say yes with a caveat. And the caveat is that both people have to be very, very clear with what their intentions are and very, very honest with what their intentions are. And I think they're both ways. I'll say this is that if there's one person that has some bit of attraction to the other person or whatever in there, then there could be this underlining undertones of like, well, I'm going to get closer to this person, we're going to become friends, and then eventually it turn into something. So if one of the two people has that, then it's disingenuous. If both of you have that, well, then you probably should be dating or at least trying to. And if neither of you have it, then you go, well, what we have, right? And so is it possible? Yes. Is it rare? Yeah, I would say
It
yes. It's
is,
very rare.
yeah. Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
have this with anyone? No.
No.
Can you have this with people
No.
that you've dated in the past? Like, very rarely do you meet someone that you think, oh, this could be a romantic relationship. And very quickly you realize, no, this is like my best friend. I've seen
That's
it
right.
happen. It's very rare. But like I actually lost a relationship because of Desmond, guys. Do you remember? that
Yeah,
guy
I do remember. And I
dating.
do feel bad about that a little bit, but I
I
know
feel
that you
bad.
don't. So,
But so now every time I date someone, I'm like, listen, like I have two best friends. One is Emily and she lives in North Carolina, and one is Desmond and he lives here like 2 hours from me. And I don't get to see him often. When he comes down for a weekend and like I spend all my time with him and as much as I can because sometimes I see you twice a year, sometimes I see you 4 times a year. Like we're not that close and that really depends on our schedules and our kids and our lives and whatever.
yeah,
But it certainly doesn't affect the quality um, of our friendship. Like the distance
that's right.
does not, because we invest a lot of time into our friendship.
Yeah. And
But
you make time, right? Like you
yeah,
make time for the things that are important. So like our friendship is important to each other. We make time for it.
yeah.
And
Like
we
I
make
don't get to
equal
see,
time.
I don't have to see you every week,
That's right. That's right.
right?
And it's like reciprocal time, right? So like not only one person can put in effort into a relationship, and effort's maybe not the right word to use. Effort's the word to use when it's struggling, I think. Like it's effortless for us to do it, but there still has to be intention from both sides. And I think that there is, I don't think that. I know that there is that from us, right? And that's why it doesn't always work with everybody.
Okay, well, thank you for saying that because you just brought something up. So we met like 25 years ago, 24 years ago. We were friends when we were both married. Then we didn't talk for many, many years, and then we reconnected maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And because we had already so much history and so much trust established, because we had known each other for so long, our friendship just like became so easy, like you said, so effortless. But there was times in the beginning where you're someone that communicates a lot, and I'm someone, as you just stated, that like withdraws, especially when I'm going through something hard. I pull away. So like I used to disappear on you
Yeah,
for like a week or two if something was going on. Do you remember that?
I do remember. Yeah.
And it took me telling you like it's really not you. I just don't know how to reach out when I'm struggling because all I've ever had was myself to count on. So sometimes it's like a toxic thing where I'm like lone wolf mentality. Sometimes it's I need to deal with it by myself. I don't have energy for anyone else and I need to just like pull in my energy and just deal with something myself. So it's both.
Yeah.
Um, but just even having that conversation with you and having you be patient and understand that I'm not like rejecting you as a friend or not wanting you to be there for me or just not caring about you, that it's just like sometimes I need a lot of space and you're someone that likes to communicate a lot. So
Yeah.
like I know that that bothered you and we had to work through it and I find that like we're good now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, and vice versa, right? Let me start my point over again. So yes, you're right. Like you're correct. That was like a weird thing for me because I'm like, oh, like to me, when somebody like for me, if I'm super upset, most of the time I want to like share it with somebody and that can help me get it out. So what you by you doing being the opposite helped me really think about the focus on the fact that, well, if I can be this way and this is the way that I am, it's plausible to think that somebody could be the polar opposite of that. And who's right? And the answer is everybody, right? Like both of us are right.
Mhm.
Um, so the communication piece, but you were very patient with that communication. And I think what works is that you'll say that to me. If you just disappear and I'm just like, usually, sarcastic, I'm like, hey, are you dead? Like, or something.
Right.
I'll
This
say
is what we
something.
say to each other. Are you fucking dead?
Yeah. Right. And you'll say, not dead, but, just need some time. And I'm like, cool. And that's it. Right. And then that sort of puts my nervous system at ease because I am worried. It's like, if I'm reaching out to you, there's part of me that probably wants to talk about something. There's also a part of me that wants to know how you're doing. So when I can't get the answer to that or any question in general, that usually, makes me feel away. But that makes we communicated on that and we figured that out and
Yep.
I think that's a non-issue, right? And not that it was an issue before, but it's like a non-issue because there's a little bit of
Yes.
abandonment stuff for me too, right? Like where it feels like I can be left on my own, and I don't always love that, right? You know that well. I don't love the feeling of being alone, right?
Yeah.
um Now I'm pretty good with being alone. Like I've learned to absorb and realize that just, sometimes I do need to go put myself with people and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just need to be alone. And I've become much better at that because of this, portion of our relationship. But yeah, I forgot about that. That was funny. You're like, well, I
I feel like
disappeared for
it's
two
something we
weeks.
had to go through, right? Just for
Yeah.
our friendship to be the way it is now. And you also were just so patient with me and you showed me that it was okay for me to deal with it in my own way and to reach out to you when I was ready, and that you didn't punish me for it. You didn't blame me for it. You didn't get mad. You just accepted me for who I was. And then so I just felt really seen. Um, and so it just made it so much easier for me to now reach out to you when I am struggling. Um,
Yeah. And you said so conversely, right? Sometimes I'll be upset about something and it seems ridiculous to me and I won't share it. And then I'll tell you about it a couple days later. And you made a really good point and you're like, well, you've by doing that, you took away my ability to be able to help you or feel like I helped you. And I never really considered it that way, but it's right. There's like two parts to this. There's the I don't want to burden someone, but your assumption of burdening or not could be actually hurtful to the other person because you're not giving them the opportunity. So that logic alone helped reframe me entirely, like in how I look at things, how I look at gift giving, how I look at gift reception, how I look at, asking people what they want to do, vice versa, and them telling me what they want to do, right? Like it's, if you don't get a control over, once you start to understand that, if you don't get a control over that, you could, go insane thinking about like, oh, is this person mad or it's not? It's not that. It's really just asking, right? It's like asking what's going on and what's the boundary. But yeah, it reframed my entire mental framework.
and I think the deeper question here is, I think you're okay with me saying this, but we are both people that love very deeply. We take care of the ones we love. We work hard. We put ourselves last. And for us to receive support and receive love and help makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable because we are used to being the ones giving it. And so our friendship has been a reminder of the blessings with receiving and how much purpose and meaning we can give to someone when we allow them to show up for us.
Right. Right. And also understanding that there's abuse that can happen in that, right? And that's part of the learning process. Like you mentioned earlier that I've kind of raised the bar for you when it comes to like relationships, at least in men. And I would say
It
the
was
same
like
thing
being
with my
treated by a man. Yeah.
right. And I would say that you've done the same for me with women, right? And that, you know, and also not accepting that one tiny little glimpse of or like crumb of something isn't indicative of how that person is, right? Like they really do need to show you in their entirety and of what that actually is and who they are. So that's been really helpful in raising the bar and how I want to be treated. Now, I'm not sure that I've landed on exactly how I want to be treated, but I know it's not how I have been. So, and it's how I've allowed myself to be,
Yeah.
right? So I don't blame those people. Those people are just being the people that they are, which is probably what they tell you, right? So like they can tell you all the things like I want to be different, I want to do this, I want this, blah 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 blah, right? But they will show you very quickly if they can or they can't. And it doesn't as angry as I've been about that and frustrated and quite abused feeling like I felt used, and that's a feeling that I've had to feel for a lot of years, right? And unpacked it. I'm more on the space now where it's like, well, they just are who they are. And they're just being how they're being. And whether they want to change or not has nothing to do with me. It's just how they are. And I don't have to be upset at that or hold a grudge against them, but I don't have to be around them either. And the only person that I have to blame when I am around these people is me because I allow myself to be there and I don't have to. For somebody who spent most of their life saying that I don't give a shit what people think about me, well, I do about certain people, right? And like, so it's like, and I'll spend a lot of time unpacking why it is certain people. I do care very much what they think about me, and it's not the people you'd think, right? It's not those obvious people that you'd think. Like you think it's like my kids and my spouse, which I don't have one, but when I had one, and like, and yes, I did care about what they think, but they're not the most obvious ones. It's so interesting to think. Like I read this thing the other day that says like it said something like your biggest supporter is a complete stranger and your biggest hater is somebody that you're closest with. And and I think that could be very true and a little bit applicable,
A
right?
thousand percent true.
Yeah, like it's not always the case, but like it's certainly true 9 times out of 10, I would say,
Yeah, just
right?
start
Like
your own
obviously
business. If you start your own business, your family and your friends will show you exactly like who loves and supports you. And it's one of the most heartbreaking things
it,
that your biggest cheerleaders will be strangers.
yeah, isn't that interesting? Like I think about this because like, I go to the gym fairly regularly now. and there's a bit of a community there, right? Which
Yeah.
I'm always hesitant to introduce myself into a new community, but I went there specifically for this purpose, and it's been really good. And there certain people in the community are starting their own businesses or doing their own businesses, and I'm like all in on like wanting to support them, even if it's not financially, but it will be if it's a service I can use. If it's not, I'm not going to just spend money for the sake of spending it. But just like verbally or like sharing it or whatever, it's like I'm all about that, and I don't, and it feels good to do that. And I don't understand when people don't want to do that. Like I get why they don't. There's a jealousy thing there. Maybe jealousy is not the right word. Envy might be, but it brings up feelings of like inadequacy in yourself as well. To be like, well,
Yeah.
I didn't do that. Why didn't I think about that? And it points the spotlight back on you, and I really don't think it needs to. So, like, yeah, like it's like when somebody starts a family business and then they bring it to their family and their family's like, okay, cool. Like, can I get a discount? And I'm like, what the shit? Like, you want them to, they just started the business. Like, you shouldn't want a discount. You should want to
You'd
pay
be paying
whatever it
full
is to
price to
support them.
support them.
Yeah. Pay whatever it is they're asking for the service. Like,
Yeah.
why would you ask for a discount? You ask for a discount, they'll give you one when they're successful. Like, you don't have to ask for it. They'll give it to
Yeah.
you. But people so much want it because it's like, oh, it's my friend. He'll do this or she'll do this or whatever. And it's like, it should be the opposite. Should be spend some
And
money
they
on
feel
this
very
because,
entitled.
yeah, like why? Right? I don't get it. But yeah, I digress a little bit. That
Yeah.
would, I drifted. I tend to do that, as you know.
No, that's okay. But just going back to what we were saying, like I did lose a relationship over Desmond.
Yes.
And when I do meet someone, it's like Desmond, my friendship with Desmond is a non-negotiable. And it gets brought up right in the beginning. And if you ever want to meet him, be in the room when he comes to visit, like whatever I can do to make my partner feel comfortable, I'm willing to do. And I know so are you. But it's just like it's a non-negotiable. I'll never give up a 25-year-old friendship over someone I just met because they have trust issues or because of what's happened to them or because they just can't see past it. Like I'm just not even willing to do that. So
Yeah.
like that's like you're part of my family. So it's
Yeah.
like my kids, the father of my children is also a non-negotiable. He is always welcome in my home. He's going to be here for, holidays and birthdays and events with my kids and you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I've done the same, right? Like I'm very communicative and just saying like, hey, these are the friends that I have, and they're not going anywhere. And guess what? They don't have all the same body parts that you would assume they would have, right?
Yeah.
So like, and there shouldn't be a problem with that. Like I always wonder that too when someone's like, well, how do I know that you don't want to sleep with them? I'm like,
Mhm.
well, because we would have already.
Yeah,
Like,
because we've both been single for 5 years, talking
that's
to each
right.
other about our dating nightmares
That's right.
for the last 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, they've been fun. Like,
Yeah.
there's been some great,
There's been some doozies. I think we'll get
yeah.
into some of those maybe.
Yeah. Like, oh God.
Not today. Not today. We don't have enough time.
Thank God. Thank God you said not today, because Jesus, I just thought what the last 5 years has looked like, and
Yeah.
we
Uh,
can make a movie about that.
I know. It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Great.
so you've elevated my expectations for like how I should be treated and loved. We're both single parents. So I have my kids full time. You have your daughter half time, like so a week at a time for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, right. We are close in age. I'm much older, but we're both in our 40s, right?
Yeah. I don't know about
So
much older.
yeah, so I'm much
Neither
older
of us
than
look, I
you.
don't
I'm
think
like
we look
five
like
years
we're,
older than you, but we're both in our 40s.
yeah, I don't
Um,
think we look like we're in our 40s though. Maybe.
yeah, it depends on the day. And I feel like we have the same values, which is very important to me, like the honesty that we talked about, the respect, the communication, the accountability, which is one of my top values, and just the compassion that we show each other and ourselves. And we have the same parenting goals. And I think it's one of the things you said in the beginning when we started talking is we are both looking for meaning and purpose in our life. And it's very important to us. And we're looking for
Yes.
depth in friendships and relationships. So like putting all these things together, just the trust and the boundaries we have, like this is what it takes to have a great friendship.
Yeah, I think so, right? Especially as you age, right? Like, despite, I mean, we kind of told our age a little bit there, but
No.
despite how we look, we're getting older, and I think you don't, if you're trying to age and grow, then what's important to you changes drastically. What makes you feel fun and joy changes drastically. Like, I know we've chatted about this before. I struggle with that. Like, I remember being in my 20s and being like the life of the party and happy and laughing and joking, and that was fun. And like, that was awesome. And over the last couple of years, I definitely struggle to find the things that make me have that same joy or express that joy. I'm not always the loudest in the room anymore. I'm always the like one trying to make everybody laugh, although I do try. Um, and that changes. I don't think you have a choice. If you want to be different and age gracefully and
Mhm.
intelligently and show up for your kids and be able to show them the tools that we never really had, then you just kind of change. And unfortunately, you lose people along the way. It just like it's not even like you lose them. It's just like you don't have anything really to talk about. And it's so difficult when you can't have meaningful conversations, right? Like there's, in my 20s, I love to just spend money and buy shit and go out into the bars and do stuff. And that was fun. Like it was easy to feel fun, feel hungover, whatever, move on with your life. None of that stuff really does anything for me anymore. Like buying things doesn't mean anything. Like none of it gives me joy. So it's caused me to find joy in other ways, right? And I've realized a lot of finding joy is, other than helping other people, is like having meaningful conversations, like having intelligent conversations, ones that are going to lead somewhere, right? Like focusing on health and fitness. That has been
Yeah,
really important to me. Something that, trust me, I tell you, I did not focus on those things when I was younger. Um, so it just happens. I think it just happens.
yeah,
And which is, oh, sorry, it just happens if you want it to happen. And it's that intention, right? And yeah, like I have zero interest in giving up our friendship for any potential relationship that's coming along. It's actually recently happened to me though, funny enough. I'll kind of tell you, because I find that I do get along conversation wise equally as good with men as I do with women. I have friends that are women. I get along really well with women,
yeah,
get along really well with guys. Um, but I do have another friend that same kind of thing. Like, I was looking for meaning, lots of good conversation can happen, whatever. And then they got in a relationship and then they sort of disappeared. I'm okay with that, right? Like, I get it. You get a new relationship. I met their partner. They same kind of deal. They brought their partner to my house to meet me, be like, hey, this person is, a good friend of mine.
yeah,
We've known each other our entire lives.
yeah.
Nothing has happened there. Nothing's gonna happen there, but they're a good friend and they're kind of a non-negotiable, whatever. And then they kind of disappeared.
Mhm.
And and I was okay with that. Like, I get it. Like, a new relationship starts, you need to put that
Yeah,
energy into that relationship. I don't care. It's fine. But then when things got rockier, they showed back up again, and we can have some conversations to help. And then when things get less rocky, they're gone again. And I'm like, it changed me a little bit in that I'm like, okay, well, I do understand when you start a relationship, but I actually am not going to let people off the hook that easily anymore. Because it's like, if you start that trend at the beginning and saying, like, hey, this person's important to me, but I'm going to put them to the side while we figure out stuff, you can never bring them back in. And you never really believe that that's the way that relationship should work.
yeah,
And that's happening now. And I'm kind of over that a little bit to say like, hey, no, that doesn't really work for me. And that's fine. Go do whatever makes you
yeah.
happy, but I'm not always going to be here when you come back. And and
And
that's
you're
a
not looking
reality.
to
So
be
I'm
a
like, yes, I'm
placeholder.
accepting. Yeah, like I'm accepting of it, but not so much anymore. I'm like, no, it's because all I've ever been is accepting of everything in my
Yeah,
life, right? Is just try to be the coolest guy in the room and chill about everything and non-reactionary. And where does that get you? Where it gets you is the last choice for things. And it gets you as the safe choice for things, or like, hey, when everything else falls apart, that person will still be there. And I don't want to be that available to everybody in my life, but I do want to be that available to certain people that deserve it. Um, so case in point, you, if you disappear for a couple weeks, that does not hurt my feelings. I know as long as you're okay, then I know I'm okay because you've done the same backwards for me, where like
mhm.
maybe you don't have the energy to show up, but you can tell that I really do need you to, and you do it, and you suck it up and you do it. So as such, we have that trust and we've earned that trust with
Mhm.
each other. But yeah, like I think that you can tend to, as you grow, think that you deserve to give that new growth to everyone. And you absolutely, they do not everybody deserves that growth. They don't get to see that version of you. They have to earn that version of you and vice versa.
I am so, so proud to hear you say everything you just said.
Well, we'll see if
And
I keep it in practice, right?
and
So far, I've kept it in practice,
I
but
just say, like, I'm so proud to hear you say that you are not a placeholder. And like this is definitely we're not to each other. So like we don't disappear when other people come in. Like we
that's right.
maintain our connection. Um, but when people do that to us, then that's what it feels like. It feels like everyone new comes first, and we're just like keeping this spot open. And as soon as someone else is there to fill this void, then they just take them over us. And I'm so happy to hear that that's not okay for you anymore. And like we get it, but it's like we don't have to be there. And and the other thing I love about our friendship is the growth. So we're both growth oriented and committed to growth. And even though we've been friends for 25 years, some people have friendships that have they've had for 25, 30, 40 years, but they're dead. They haven't grown in 3 decades. The only things that you talk about is the shit you did in high school or the memories of partying when you were 20 and who did what and all your crazy adventures. But it's like you don't actually have anything in common now except your past. And like
Yeah.
those are the friendships that I have no, like absolutely no room for. If I run into you in the street, I'll hug you, but I'm not keeping a friendship in which we both can't grow and we're not like in the now growing together.
Yeah. Yeah. Really interesting that you say that,
Mhm.
right? Like, so I have a really good friend of mine. So, and I won't mention their name just because I didn't mention that I was doing this. And,
No, that's
subsequently later on,
perfect.
we can.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were, part of the best friends group in high school. And then life happens, you move away, you still hang out a little bit, then you move away, live in different
Yeah.
cities. That's one of the key aspects. We're a rarity that we make a friendship work when we're so far away because sometimes certain friendships require being within a proximity, right?
Yeah.
So fast forward 15 to 17 years, I moved back to my hometown and reconnect at like a party with some of my friends and now with one in particular, whereas thick as thieves and just as close as we were before. And it's interesting that you say that because like we don't actually ever reminisce about high school ever. We've never talked about high school. We've never really even talked about the last 20 years. All we talk about is now and like what the future could look like and like what's going on in the world right now and what does that mean and what like it's much deeper conversations. We never talk about the shit ever. And it's fun. I never even thought about it until you said that. We've never talked about high school.
Yeah.
And and I like that. And when I get
But you
together
know
with some
you
of my
have
other friends,
other
it's the same
friends
thing.
where that's all that people say. That's
That's
all they
right.
talk
Like
about.
like I've got certain friends and it's harder to be around them now. And again, it's not right or wrong. It's just they are in a phase where they always want to talk about the past and like reminisce about the past. And like I trust me, I'm every year I'm a completely different person than I was the year before, like other than my core values. And I don't want to talk about that shit. This is dumb shit. There's shit that we did when I was younger that I'm not really happy about. And I'm not really proud. I'm not proud of I've always been a life of the party and jokes, and I can make like trust me, I can make fun of people just because it's fun and it's entertaining for me to do. And I don't feel great about having done that in the past. Just because I have the ability to do it doesn't mean I have a need to use that ability. And I
That you should use
certainly
this power.
I use that part, yeah, because like it's just different. Like things are different. And to me, all of that stuff is just so superficial to a friendship. And it's like I've lost very good friends, as you know, because well, one, they're not willing. Oh, I shouldn't say they're not willing to grow. We're just not growing in the same direction.
Mhm.
And two, like I have standards for myself and I don't want to, I'm not going to chase everybody around all the time. And if somebody else wants to have a friendship, they also need to put some of the effort in. And if the effort is 0% on their side, well, then that tells me how much I was worth as a friend. So, and that's fine. It doesn't even hurt my feelings. It's just knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't want to be around me. It's like my number one thing. And if you don't want to be around me, as soon as I figure out, if you don't tell me, which by the way, if anybody's going to watch this, they should know that if you don't want somebody around, just fucking tell them that you don't want them around. It's like the best thing you could ever do to that person is just tell them, be like, hey, this isn't working, or hey, like, instead of letting things feel weird for like a really, really long time and then just disappearing, how about you
Mhm.
just fucking say something? Like, I say that to everyone. This is friendships, relationships, whatever. Just tell the person. Because as
Yep.
soon as I figure out that somebody doesn't want to be around me, oh, I'm not chasing you anymore. Like, that's it. Well, cool. Like,
We're done.
done. Like you don't want me around? Fuck, no problem.
Yeah.
Like I'll see you later. I'm not gonna chase you around. Like it's the worst feeling. Anybody who's felt that knows what I'm talking about. To
Yeah.
like, And I never want to feel that. And as soon as I catch wind of even smelling a little bit like that, I'm like, okay, I'm out of here then. Like the
Yeah.
best thing you can ever do is just goddamn tell somebody that though. Like it's so cruel not to. Especially if they tell you. Like if you're someone like me, I'm a pretty open communicator. I will tell you what works for me and what doesn't. You
Mhm.
don't have to do it. But if I told you and you said you can do it, well then fucking do it. Or don't, but then we're not doing this anymore. Like that's it. It's just so simple.
Yeah.
And yeah, is it awkward? Yes. It is awkward sometimes to have that conversation. Does it hurt somebody's feelings? Sure. Does it hurt your own feelings? And I think that's what makes people not want to do it, is because they're like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Whereas really, the answer is, I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to hurt my own friggin' feelings. I don't want to look like a piece of shit. It's so
Yeah.
selfish to that.
That's right.
It's
Because the
like,
other person, what you're saying that they can't handle, what you're going to say to them, you don't get to make that decision. But when you
that's
make that
right.
decision, you're decided that you don't want to be the one that's fucking uncomfortable.
That's right. That's right. It's so selfish, right?
That's
And
right.
it's hidden under the guise of being selfless, and it's not
And being
selfless.
nice.
Yeah, it's a shit thing to do. It's super cruel. It's super telling of a human being. And
Yeah.
like, listen, people make mistakes. I've done the same thing. I'm sitting here telling you I've ghosted people before in my life. I sure have done it, but I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, because I know what it feels like. It's never really happened to me, and then it has happened to me.
Yeah.
So, like, I never want to do that. And it's just super easy to communicate. And like we're in our 30s, we're in our well, I'm not, but we're in our 30s, we're in our 40s, we're adults. We have kids. Like we can figure it out,
Mhm.
right? Like if you expect your kids to be a better version, then you need to kind of show up and be a better version of yourself. So maybe parenting as another, things I've learned in parenting and another episode, but
Oh, trust me, we'll be digging into that.
yes.
Um, just the last thing I wanted to mention that I really, really value in our friendship is having your male perspective. So because of our friendship, like I don't online date, like you know that, but I did for like a day or two here and there in the last few years of our friendship. And when you mentioned ghosting, it just made me think about it. Until we were friends, I didn't hear a man's experience of online dating. Like I'd heard it from my clients, obviously, but I got a real like close up of what it looks like and feels like for men to put themselves out there on in the dating world on an app. And it's made me so, I guess, compassionate to the way to the different ways in which you guys experience the world and things that I'm just not aware of as a woman, and dating is one of them. So like for example, when like as a woman you get bombarded with messages, whether you have a picture or you don't, it's not really a reflection of your worth or of what you look like. You just get bombarded with messages the second you sign up to a dating site, which is
Yeah.
something you didn't know, right?
No, no
So we're
idea.
having this conversation, and then you're like, well, most men get ghosted. And I'm like, well, most men, like most women, can't even, like, don't have enough hours in the day to open their messages,
It's
right? Like,
insane.
it's just so overwhelming, which is insane.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so, like, even that part, it made me very aware of what it feels like to men. And so, like, I sent out, if I met someone and started talking to them, I would just sent out a message, took me like 3 days, to every single person that messaged me and said, like, thank you so much for messaging me. Like, you're a sweet person, but like, I'm going to pursue something. I met someone else or whatever. And they were all so grateful just to get a message back. And I think that we need to talk about this stuff because I think that a lot of women just don't understand the impact of that because
Sure.
they don't know what it's like for men. They assume that men also have 200, 300 messages a day just coming in,
Yeah.
right? But it's very different for you guys. And like, yes, a lot of them are bots or whatever. Like it's not what it looks like a lot of the times. But I think just hearing your perspective, or like if I've talked to a guy and he said something, like I've called you, been like, did he mean like what I think he meant in like guy's language? Like, you know what I mean? Explain it to me.
Yeah.
And just hearing your male perspective on a lot of things. And it's coming from a source that I deeply trust, right? And deeply value. So it's not like I'm just asking anyone out there to
Yeah.
interpret this for me. I'm asking you and I trust you. So
Yeah.
that's been like a lifesaver for me.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like I think we could have a lot of good conversations about this. But you're right. I remember we were together, and I think you're like, let me show you an example, and you'd made like a dating profile. Didn't even have a picture of you. It was like the picture of the water, and it was up with so just your name and a picture of the water and nothing in the description. And you must have got 20 messages in the first, I don't know, 10 minutes. Hey, beautiful. Hey, I'm like, hey, how do you know?
Right,
Like, hey, beautiful. How
right,
do you know? It's water. Did you mean
right.
the water? Like, I don't disagree. It now that I understand what it's like, I can imagine that dating for women on those apps must be like, yes, it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of like
Hmm.
if you're on, it's a numbers game, right? So if you're on a dating app, you obviously want to receive the messages. So great, like women are receiving the messages. But I can also imagine that you get a lot of bullshit messages that are like guys just being creepy
Like
and
copy
weird
and
and
paste messages or just like
yeah,
hi and wave and like whatever.
like, hey, beautiful, morning, beautiful, this,
Yeah,
that. And then there's pieces of shit, right? Just like there is on both
yeah,
sides of the fence. There's lots. So I can imagine that could be a lot. That can be daunting and make it like the entire online dating thing, it's taken away from the ability of us to trust each other, right? A little bit. Like any dates that I've been on, any person that I've met in the last 5 years or whatever has been one-on-one. It has not been a reflection of online or anything like that, with the exception of maybe I met somebody in person and then like messaged them online, right?
hmm,
Other than that, like I have not gone on any dates from dating apps at all.
yeah,
May no, not one. And all of the stuff is in person. If I meet somebody at the gym or whatever, right? I'm
yeah,
just making stuff up or walking around.
yeah.
That's where it comes from. And and I think the dating apps have really eliminated this need or this like expectation of like personal conversation and that's where I think I excel is just having personal conversations. So like the apps don't work for me. But yeah, sorry, circling back to my original point, it must be a lot to be a woman and to get all of that and to just you probably miss out on really good guys in the mess of like
Right.
500 men of like shit. You just like you probably have lost out on really good guys that are just buried in there.
Because it's like a
Um,
full-time job. Like who has time for that?
yeah,
But then you
yeah,
guys are sitting at home and you're like, she's not answering. So it was like, it was so life-changing for both of us to like in real life see the other person's perspective,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it was. Yeah,
Is
it
that,
was.
sorry, both of those experiences, the lack of messages for the men and then the overwhelming messages for the women are not a reflection of their worth.
That's right.
Like I want people to hear that. Because just as a
Yes.
woman, I got 20 messages in an hour with no face, no description, nothing, just like maybe my age, I don't know, and a name.
Yeah.
That's not like I shouldn't feel like, oh, I have options and all these men want to date me.
Yeah, sure.
That's not even real.
Yep.
They know nothing about me. They're just mass messaging people and like messaging everyone and liking everyone. So it's like both of those experiences are not reflections of our worth.
No. And it's like the same as goes the other way. Like I'm here to tell any guy that wants to listen, like if you got no messages back, like very infrequent matches, any no matches at all, that doesn't mean that you aren't worth something to someone. It means that you are one of 1,000 in that person's messages, but you are only that one person. This is what's crazy for guys.
Right.
Is guys like if I looked at a dating app, I would say no to 90% of the people that I was looking at, and it would be very specific on one person, right? Like, hey, I like this person. They were attractive to me. I like what they're saying in their bio, all the stuff. And you click on one. And the guy's like, oh, okay. You're sitting there wondering, like, okay, well, I messaged one person to say hi. Why haven't they messaged you back? Well, because they got like 1,000 messages. So it's like totally different experiences. And it does, you're right. It doesn't mean that it should not be a reflection of your worth. It's like how many likes you get on a post. Who gives a shit?
That's right.
But I do also get it that there is a lot of worth that gets tied to like the opposite sex's attraction. There's some worth that's tied to that, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that I also feel that way sometimes, right? But
Yeah.
mine is less so on the app. So once I got my mentality around it, but more so in person, maybe, right? I might feel that way now in person if that reaction wasn't the same. So yeah, really interesting, and it is nice to have a female perspective, especially like because I will tell you flat out what's going on in my dating life, and you will just nail it. Like you will say exactly what it is and what it isn't,
Yeah.
and but also encourage me to continue to be my authentic self. and continue to be honest and continue to talk about the boundaries that I have, whether the person likes it or not, will tell you a lot.
Yeah.
So, been working through that and now, and yeah, it's a learning curve. Trust me, I haven't learned it and think, oh, I've got it down. No, it's a learning curve for me. And then they start to like me, and I tell them, then I run away
And you're like,
instantly. It's
peace out.
yeah, like, oh, you're really interested now? Okay, gotta go, gotta go. Jesus.
Now that I got you, this is awkward.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally like me in a nutshell.
And I'm
Huh.
like, now that I like you, this is awkward.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
almost afraid these days to like anybody. If I'm being honest, like I'm
yeah,
almost afraid to like them. I'd rather be single. It's crazy. Like I think I spent the last 4 or 5 years wondering of whether I wanted to be, and now that I'm in the
yeah,
position where I think I know, and I think the answer is I kind of like being single because like it's I'm afraid for them to like me. I've had bad experiences on both sides, so
yes,
like I'm afraid when they start to like me, I'm like, oh, I gotta go, right? So you know.
I hear
The
you.
good thing is that being a guy is we're pretty good at being alone, right? Like we can figure out the functionality of being alone and still exist in a life. I've got really important things I got to focus on, like my daughter. So,
Right. And there's a
you know,
difference in like being alone and being lonely, right?
that's right.
And you can
That's
be
right.
alone, but have a lot of connection and feel like you have a full life and a lot of like meaning and a lot of like compassion and love from like friends and family. And you probably do feel like lonely at certain times.
Sure.
Um, or you could be like, and sometimes you could be surrounded by a million people and be like the loneliest motherfucker in the room. So
Yep,
like
that
those
happens
two
often.
don't always go together.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens often. Like you're right. I can be around people and be lonely. I can be around people and be super happy and feel like really loved and really like in the moment. And a lot of the time I like to be by myself.
Yeah.
Like more and more so these days, I like to be by myself, but there are rare opportunities where, yeah, I want to spend my time with somebody. And there's a difference between spending your time with a friend and spending your time with somebody that's more of a romantic partner,
Yeah,
right? Obviously, sex being one of the biggest reasons, biggest differences, but
for
not the
sure.
biggest reason. It's just the
Yeah.
biggest difference. But yeah, sometimes it is nice to just go to an event with a partner that you want to spend some time with. It's nice to spend time with the opposite sex
Yeah.
and get the it's not even the attention, it's just the feeling of being around each other and being close. There's a little bit of like safety that comes in one way, there's a little bit of protection that comes from the other direction. Like it's all a
Yeah.
thing, right? But yes, there are bouts of loneliness that come with my being alone for sure, and then there's bouts of not.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And I gave up dating for 2025, and now I'm open to love in 2026. Desmond, are
Yeah.
you open to love this year? I mean, you're not
I don't know.
chasing it, but if it finds you, or like if it doesn't like you, will you chase
If it likes
it?
me, yeah. If you mean,
If
am
you
I open
like
to
it and it
chasing?
doesn't like you, will you go after it?
Yeah, if it doesn't like me, absolutely. Any
Okay.
ladies listening, just ignore me and throw stuff at me, and that's how you get me interested. No, am I open to it? Sure. I
Okay.
think and the reason I say this is because I think for me, who has not been open to it, and sometimes says he's open to it, but really isn't open to it, I would say I am open to it. I would never want to be the type of person that is close to love and also try to teach my daughter that she needs to be open to everything and open to feelings good and bad.
Yeah.
But if I was close to it, then I would be kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth to her, and I don't want to do that. So I'm open to it, yes. Am I actively pursuing it? No. Do I realize that as a guy, I have to do some of the work, and especially the initial legwork? If I have, then yes, I do know that.
Yes.
Um, and I am traditional in that way, and that I do want that role. Like I like to have that traditional type role. But so yes, I know that I have to initiate things, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be initiating it all the time. It will be as it comes, right? So, but yeah, I'm open. Sure.
Okay.
This year.
So,
I mean,
so
God,
the
I've done all this work. I might as well friggin' share it with
right, you don't
somebody,
want to
right?
let it go to waste.
It would be a waste.
Right, it would
Um,
be a waste.
I can say that pretty confidently now. It would be a shame.
Yeah.
It would be a shame to not be able to share it with someone, and but the right person would be
Yeah.
great, right?
So listen, it's
So.
February. We'll see what 2026 has in store for us.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, 2025 was supposed to be our year, and that didn't happen.
listen, let's not even we'll talk about, you know what, we should have an episode called 2025.
Yeah.
And we should
That's
just like relive it and go back over everything that's happened
that's
that
right.
made us the people that you see in front of you today, because we are
That
not the same people that we were beginning of 2025, correct?
20, if I could find a video of a trebuchet throwing a fiery dumpster at an oil tanker, that would be 2025
Yes.
in a nutshell. I'm sure I could get AI to make something.
But we made it.
Well, we made it. Here we
And,
are.
and here we are, and we're different people, and we've grown so much. And I'm so grateful that you have been there for me every step of the way. The laughter, the crazy conversations, the tears, the sitting there in silence and just being there for each other. Like you've been there through it all for me, and I'm so grateful. And I want you to come back like every month or every 2 months or however often you want, because I want people to hear not even the journey of a friendship, but just like the journey of what we're both navigating. As
Yeah.
single
Yeah, I'm
parents and as,
totally.
that are trying to date and just like have meaning in this world.
Yeah. If I could even help visualize for other guys that are in the same situation. Of course, nobody ever knows the situation, and we'll talk about that as the time goes on. But if I can even just show them, like, hey, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, right? After divorce, after being a single dad, after pretty harsh relationship breakups, all the things, right?
Yes.
Career changes. Holy God, like let's line them up, right? Um, it is possible to make it through all of those things. It does help if you can find yourself a cat, like a U cat,
And
not an
it does.
actual feline.
Yes.
Although that might be, maybe if that's what you're
Yes.
into. But that does help, and I encourage any guy to figure that out, and any woman to
Yeah.
figure that out and try to look and find themselves a friendship of the same sex, but of the opposite sex can be such a beneficial friendship. And for those partners and people that are together and get a little bit squirrely when your guy friend or girlfriend has a partner or has a friend that's of the opposite sex,
Yeah.
what I will say is one, I get it. I get why you would be. And two, if it's a really meaningful conversation, if the person is involving you with the friendship, if it's that important of a friendship, it's actually going to be beneficial for your guys' relationship. It can be, right?
Yeah.
If everyone's intentions are clear and pure on that. So,
Because like no one calls out each other's shit more than we do. So
no.
like it's not like you call me and like you tell me something that's happening and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she did that." I'll be like,
Yep.
"What the fuck did you do? Like what did you say?" Like, right? Like I will totally
Yep.
stand up for the girl if that's what the situation requires and hold you accountable, and you do the same thing for me. So sometimes in relationships, the partners may not realize that we will be their biggest alliance
Yep.
in calling each other out on our bullshit.
Yeah. And trust me, like, you know, if if a if some guy, one of somebody you're dating was ever like, well, she's being like this, and this, I'd be like, yeah, fucking yeah, she is. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's what you wanted. Like, yeah, that's what yes. Like that's what you wanted. Yeah, that's what you
Deal
wanted.
with
Why do you think
it.
I'm not dating her? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Like,
Okay, well.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh
Well, that
my
explains
God.
our friendship in a nutshell. But no, you're right. You call me out on my shit. And a good friend tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Exactly.
And I have a couple, I am so fortunate in life to have like two or three friends that will do that for me.
Yeah.
You are one of them, certainly the number one, but like God, get yourself at least one, right? Like everybody needs to
Everything.
have at least one to just because otherwise you go through life like trust me, I've seen the results of what happens when somebody's told everything that they want to hear and not what they need to hear. They and when people throw the narcissistic word around, you
Yeah.
will develop a narcissist if they continually only hear what they want to hear and not what they need to hear. It's why you got to be super critical when you're picking a therapist when you're going through things because
Yeah.
a good therapist will do both. They will tell you what you want to hear, but they will also tell you what you need to hear at times. And my experience with therapy is I've had one really good one and she retired and she told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. And every
Good.
other one told me what I wanted to hear. And after a week or two of hearing what I wanted to hear, I didn't want to talk to them anymore because it's not helpful. And once you realize it's not, you will see it. But yes, you need to find yourself a friend that tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much, Des.
I'm
And now
grateful
we
for
have
you.
to make a list of our next episodes. We'll have one entitled 2025, the the hot dumpster on fire, we'll just have a picture of the dumpster.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and then we'll dig into like our some of our relationships and just the challenging the things that we deal with as single parents, two
Yeah, I think I
teens
could spend
and
weeks.
dating and boundaries and all of that.
Yeah, would love to really dive in and hear like talk really about being a father and being a a father of a girl, being a girl dad's crazy grateful, like super grateful to be a girl dad. God damn, is it crazy though? Like we're like Paul, like we don't know what we're how to deal with them. So like would love to like talk about that. I've learned so much, which of all the things I've learned from you and all the things I've just learned from experience and experience with my older stepkids.
Hmm.
And like all of those things, I probably still am only 5% better than I was before. But it's like once you kind of get this feeling that you want to figure it out, it's such a great feeling.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, like would love to get into that. I think there's lots to talk about.
Okay. Well, I can't wait, and I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you.
being here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Until next time.
Until next time.